Welcome to this presentation of UPSL Soccer Action, live on YouTube and presented by the Atlantic Soccer Media Group.
We inch ever close to the end of the UPSL Georgia Conference Premier Division spring season. Now all that remains is locking in the playoffs. It's UMAFC, Georgia Athletic XC, and it's next on ASMG TV. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to beautiful LaGrange, Georgia, Callaway Stadium here on the campus of LaGrange College. Larry Weaver here alongside Andre Bomar, who will be on in a few moments to bring you this UPSL Georgia Premier Division action. We are almost done with the spring season. This match and one more match on Thursday to set the spring season in stone, and then we will prepare for the playoffs. We will step aside for opening ceremonies, and then we will get you all caught up on everything that will be this spring season. Just finishing up there with the opening ceremonies gives me an opportunity to bring in Andre Bomar. Andre, it's just about all set in stone. All we have left is this last match and then a match on Thursday. This match will determine the positioning in the playoffs. That match that's on Thursday doesn't really have an inflection on the playoffs. This one is a big one.
Yeah, and what an incredible season it's been. You know, every game that's been played has counted for something. There's been the relegation race. There's been the search for playoff spots, and, of course, the challenge for the division title. This one here will determine the opponents that will happen in the divisional playoffs coming up. UMA been fairly consistent, very young team coming into this game. Georgia Athletic have impressed as the Division I promotee for this season in the Premier. And so it's set up to be a pretty interesting match as they vie to see who's going to play both the third and the third and fourth seeds in the division playoffs.
You see that playoff setup as it stands today. Winners of the spring season, Potros FC. Hats off to Christopher Uranga and his staff. Coach Ignacia really bringing a much needed change there at Potros, Dre.
Yeah, I mean, they've done such a wonderful job to get since they come into the UPSL, and now they finally got that title that they've been working for season after season for, and they're a solid club, very consistent.
And it's going to be UMA that's going to get us started. They are in their white and red striped shirts with red shorts. They're going to be moving from left to right. Georgia Athletic in the all-white kits moving from right to left. Like you were saying, Dre, this has been a really strong UMA squad here this spring season.
Yeah.
They did struggle a little bit in the fall when they came up from Division I here into the Premier Division. They really had to take on some of the powerhouses right off the bat without their star players. Almost had just basically an academy squad those first few weeks. And they were able to hang on and just lost out in the playoffs to that Atlanta City FC Cinderella team that had to win to get into the playoffs before going on that beautiful run through the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the impressive thing about UMA last season. You know, you could look at just the record and say, well, they were mediocre, they mid-table team. But when you consider that that team came in largely as a U17 type of team because all the other players that were
Here's an opportunity for UMA sliding through into the box. Knocked out will be the first corner of the match here in the second minute.
Yeah, and that's the type of play that I was talking about. You know, a very, very young team is still a young team now. UMA is such a successful club that, of course, there's the downside that you're going to lose your quality players as they move up the ranks to the higher tiers of competition. But that's just a testament to the success of your club.
This will be an in-swinger from Tony Kim. Right through the box. It's going to roll out, will be a throw deep in Georgia Athletics' final third. Take a look at the lineup for Georgia Athletic. Got to keep an eye on number 7, Nazario Mbamio. He has been one of the powerhouses for Georgia Athletics since moving over from Atlanta Rovers. He was one of the reasons that they were able to move up so quickly through Division I.
Yeah, and Mbamio has been a very key player for Georgia Athletic in their attack. Always going to be a target man. Sometimes he comes off the bench as an impact player. Today he starts.
We've been able to cover a lot of their home matches through ASMG TV. Here's an opportunity for UMA. Slides across right into the grasp of Guerrero.
Half chance there. Didn't really get his foot on there with any power. But still, it's a good little approach play by UMA. But here comes Georgia Athletic.
Here's a nice long ball, but right into the grasp of Ethan Drew. And, Dre, you've been able to cover a lot of Georgia Athletic this spring season. Is there anyone that really stands out for you?
Well, it's interesting with Georgia Athletic. I remember, was it Ronaldo Moreno? He was one of the stalwarts, I thought, in the midfield. But, there was a difference of opinion. He has been removed from the team. And really, Mbamio has stepped in as sort of that leader in attack. But you got really solid players in defense, too, that Marshall and our leaders like Gutierrez and Marquez back there in central defense. And so it's a very experienced squad, although they're new to the Premier.
Controlled by UMA. Takes a rip. That one over the bar, out for a goal kick. We take a look at the lineup for Coach Andrew and the UMA squad. Definitely keep an eye on that center back, number 14, DJ Shin. He's been a solid backline man for Coach Andrew throughout the UPSL stint that UMAFC has had. Cannot forget number 10, Tony Kim, number 16, Trip Holstrom up there on the top, along with Brandon Cervantes, number 11. And that's one of the things that UMA can do, is they can collect a lot of goals on you really quickly. Same as this Georgia Athletic Club.
Yeah, they're both very attacking teams, and you see already in the early going here, UMA are the ones threatening the most. Georgia Athletics still haven't gotten out of their half with any force. But that's the thing about these teams, and they can score very quickly. So it remains to see if the energy levels remain high throughout the game, especially in view of the heat that's out there on that artificial turf.
Nice long throw into the box, headed away by Marquez. Controlled, sent back across, not able to control it, allows Georgia Athletic to counter. Here comes a nice ball, but cut off by UMA. Currently 91 degrees is what the ticker says. Top on a few more degrees for that artificial turf. Definitely going to see a hydration break midway through the halves today, Dre.
Yeah, this is going to be hard on everybody, the fans, the referees, and the two teams. But that's part of the game here. A mid-afternoon game in the Atlanta metro area is going to bring us this type of weather sometimes.
And we're only in early June. Just wait until August.
Yeah, I don't want to even think about that right now, Larry. Maybe it'll rain a lot.
Mbamio in the center circle. Good ball out to the far side. Able to keep it into the box. Just not enough to get that header on. He needed about another foot of height before he could get to that one. Quickly transitioned by UMA. Out to Tony Kim. And Tony is not one that is a selfish player. He will assist as much as he will score.
Yeah, consummate team player. And you see there Mbamio is another player. He has a lot of times a roving position. He'll be in the center of midfield, up front in attack, sometimes all the way back in defense trying to get the ball.
Zhang going to come over here to Stanton. Lays it off. Back to Zhang. Over to the far side. Trying to switch play. Alvarado cutting that off, giving it to Mbamio. He quickly transitions, trying to get a ball to Delgado. Delgado just couldn't control it enough to make the turn that he was wanting. Again, thank you for watching us on ASMG TV. If you like what we do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps the algorithm out, helps you see all things UPSL.
I think the early rhythm here, Larry, is UMA are going to get a lot of possession here. Georgia Athletic looks like they're going to be content right now to sit back and soak up pressure and try to hit them on the break.
And as this match goes along, we'll discuss what is next as next week begins the Premier Division playoffs, headed all the way back to Guerrero. And it's one thing to lift that trophy for the regular season, and hats off to Potros. It's the first time they've ever done it. They came into the UPSL system as a rec team, and they have built and molded their club into one of the powerhouses here in the Premier Division. They get to lift the trophy this season.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said it before in the season that when you look at a team like Potros, not very glamorous when you consider the likes of Atlanta United, Georgia Revolution, these big name teams. they're sort of more like the working class team, but they've done it the right way. They've started, like you say, as a rec team, but here's the ball in.
But Ethan's right there to grab it.
Yeah, they started as a rec team. They had actually a somewhat poor first season, but not because they played really poorly. Their talent level wasn't up to what was already in the division, but they built up bit by bit, and now they're division champions. And it just really shows the dedication of the coaching staff, the organization itself, the fact that Christopher Oenga has won the manager of the season, I think 4 times, maybe 5 times.
Yeah,
I lose
like
count
that.
so many
like
times.
3 in a row.
Yeah, and that just tells you everything you need to know.
Ooh, that was a nasty challenge there. But that's, you know, we were talking about it in the pregame, you know, when they came in the fall of 2020, they're the only team that's from that old timeline. All the other teams have left.
Yeah, we were looking at some old highlights from 2018 and I think 2019 maybe, and you know, Portoros was one of the 8 teams that were there at the time. None of the other teams that were in the at the time was Division 1 are around today. They've either gone to other leagues or they're disbanded.
This will be a nice free kick for UMA, right into the grasp of Guerrero. Good attempt. Here's a transition for Georgia Athletic. Mbamio gets around the man. Shot taken, but Ethan's there to just brush that one off.
Again, that key man Mbamio, he's, you know, again, you can afford to soak up that pressure and hit on the break if you get chances after chance on those breaks like that.
And Mbamio is one of those players that is willing to take shot after shot, kind of like that there for UMA.
Yeah, this seems to be the pattern, man. We're going to see a lot of attack from UMA, a lot of chances here. It's going to be, and like I said, you know, you have key players in defense for Georgia Athletic in the form of Marquez and Gutierrez. They're very experienced center backs. Marshals that back line very strictly and very organized, so they're rarely breached, even under a lot of heavy pressure.
UMA switch play, not able to control that ball, out for throw.
And I tell you what, Larry, the division playoffs have set up to be quite fascinating.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, there's nobody in this organization, you know, through this division that looks like they're going to run away with anything this year. It has been so close, so tight every single week. We've seen a roller coaster this entire season of teams that are 1 minute you're in first, the next minute you're in fourth.
Well, I think the fact that on the last match weekend, 3 teams had an opportunity to win the division. In fact, I know we were talking to some of the managers, and because there were 3 different teams in 3 different locations, we couldn't get the trophy to the game because we didn't know which team was going to come out champion.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to have to do that later, but here comes UMA. Oh, boy.
Held that one off easily.
And that was a key to, long range shot.
But that one's just a simple grab there for Guerrero. Over to Marquez. And Alvarado and Marquez just sharing the ball, and Mbamio gets involved as well. But they lose possession here with chance. Tony Kim takes a shot right into the grasp of Guerrero. These 15 minutes have flown by as it is just fast-paced on both sides of the pitch.
Yeah, it felt like it just started a moment ago. It's been end-to-end action here. It's what you like to see in the Premier Division. These teams are high quality from top to bottom. Even, you know, the bottom team, North Georgia United, did very well towards the end of the season, even defeating UMA here.
Yeah, it's like I said, you just 1 minute you're on the top of the league, and then the next minute you find yourself halfway down the scorecard, and you are wondering what in the world just happened.
Oh, tried to thread that to the other side.
Here's a good chance, but that one is
that a handball?
I believe he did call a handball. We'll take a look at it.
Yeah, he's indicating.
But the question is it in the box or is it out of the box?
I think it's just outside. It looks like where he's about to set up there.
I'll take a look here at the replay. You can see here as he clicks it up. Yes, indeed, it is just outside. This is a great opportunity for UMA.
I tell you, a lot of times, you know, it's traditional, I'll say, to criticize the referee and their calls. But I tell you what, the referee crews that we've had in UPSL have been top-notch this season. And I'm very proud to show and display their skill set, because they are too pro development projects, just like the players are.
Indeed. We've got Tony Kim and Zhang over the ball. I'm going to say it's probably going to be Kim that's going to take it.
It's well within his range. He's put in some real bangers.
Christopher Haggerty, our center official, just getting everybody set up. A four-man wall. Zhang is the one that takes it off of the wall. Cleared away by Arias. Trying to do something with it was the man over there on the far side for Georgia Athletic, but he wasn't able to control it.
See a well-placed wall on that free kick, and that's another thing, you know, when I was watching Georgia Athletic play Georgia Revolution, very high skill game. Oh, all over the top.
Here's
here.
an opportunity. Ball over the top. Shot taken.
Oh.
Just pulls it wide.
Oh, so close. But that's what I mean about Georgia Athletic. Very strong defenders. You know, they frustrate teams and get them out of sorts.
You see this ball comes from center circle over the top. He tries to one-time it and just barely gets that one wrong. Not by much.
That's a whisker away. Getting closer and closer and closer. No matter how good your defenders are, though, Larry, you give enough chances and that defense can be breached.
Mbamio, you know, we talked about that just a few weeks ago in a match where just allowed shot after shot after shot taken. Eventually, you're going to falter and you're going to allow it in, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, you can play around only for so long before it really comes back to bite you. So you do have to mix in some attack and even press high up to give your defenders a break.
And we have a player down for UMA. See if we can see who that is. Be interesting to see if it's just he's calling for a substitution. And that's early in the match here. Trying to see who that is. Number 3 is who that is.
Walking off. What's happened there? No one's attending to him. I wonder if it's a heat-related
Potentially.
situation. Yeah, he just went back down to sit down on the bench. He's not being attended to. He's not drinking water.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a mystery. I don't know. But, yeah, he called for his own substitution, so something is up with him. Just hope he's okay.
Yeah, 20 minutes in and already having to be subbed out. We had a substitution last night early in that Kalanji SSL, the Kalanji Derby, Chick Som had to come out due to a knee injury early in the match, like around the 25, 30 minutes into the match. So generally speaking, you don't want to switch out in that first half. But in the UPSL, you can have up to 7 substitutions per match.
Yeah, and that's very useful for pro development type of situation. You're able to get more players on, get that experience. But it also safeguards you from potential multiple injuries that can be replaced.
UMA working out of the back here. Working down the line, doing a really good job. Cervantes sends it to center circle. Tony Kim. I'm sorry. Park, that was.
Oh, nice turn.
Trying to work it into the box, cleared away by Georgia Athletic. There's Kim. Ooh, what a good ball. Shot taken just over the bar, out. That'll be a goal kick. Kim just able to just dance that ball wherever he wants it to be.
Yeah, he's going to be a constant threat all game long. And Georgia Athletic, very experienced defenders, going to have to find a way to clamp down on that. But they're getting looks in.
Cutting down on Marquez, forcing him to speed up the pace, getting that ball forward. Lose possession at least for a second. That had an interesting bounce to it. Christopher Haggerty chooses not to call a foul there as both of the players kind of fell over each other as that ball took a weird bounce right there at half line. Over to the far side, sent forward. Able to settle the ball, gets the foul, is Tony Kim. The UMA captain, just able to lead by example out there on the pitch.
Yeah, he's going to set up about 35 yards out. And normally you look at that distance and say, wow, that's kind of out of his range. But we've seen him hit him from that far out.
Yeah, we've seen some teams in the past with just unbelievable ability to hit long shots to goal. You look at a team like Atlanta Elephants several years back, the ability for them to hit 30, 40-yard bangers at will at times.
I think we even saw Tony Tiente from Kalanji Pro Profile put in one from the mid-line.
UMA lifted into the box. That one just clipped enough to earn a corner for UMA. Tony just lifted that ball forward. Just enough of deflection off of the Georgia Athletic man to earn yet another corner. This one's going to be an outswinger taken by Park. Headed away by Imba. Now here's a transition for Georgia Athletic. Oh, just able to cut that off right at center line was Jong. Over to Kim. He gives it out. Into the box, trying to get over to the middle. Just enough of a touch by Georgia Athletic to win that ball. Aller heads that forward, but it rolls out, will be a throw for Georgia Athletic. Just back and forth here, Dre.
Yeah, something else to see here. Again, UMA, of course, getting the majority and lion's share of the possession, but I tell you what, when Georgia Athletic do get it, they do look kind of menacing as they start the counterattacks. They just haven't been able to link up just yet.
And you know that Coach Rusaniello, he will continue to work with this squad. You know, we've seen so many matches for Georgia Athletic this season where it's been tie or very close in the first half, and then in the second half, Georgia Athletic starts to pull away and ends up pulling off a win.
Yeah, I think that's the impressive thing about Georgia Athletic. Sometimes we forget because they play so well that this is a Division I team, although they won Division I, that has come up and competed with the best in Premier.
Ethan easily grabs that one. Yeah, UMA was the same just a few seasons ago. They went, you know, they started in Division I and they just absolutely dominated. You know, we had a couple matches that were, you know, over 10-1. You know, that one match against Volpe was just a mercy killing.
Yeah, it really showed the gulf in talent between them and the rest of Division I when they were there, UMA. And, you know, some teams that play and that come in that are new in Division I, they show right away that they deserve to go up. Now, of course, this is a meritocracy, so you have to earn your way up. But, you know, you can show it during the season, and it was no doubt that they were going to come up, just like, you know, with Dalton United the first time they were in the Division I of the UPSL Georgia Conference. Now we got Fountain City this season, kind of following that same pattern.
Yeah, don't sweat yourself if you think that you're doing okay up here in the Premier League, because there is just a list of killers down in Division I that are just waiting to come up to the Premier Division.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that a team like North Georgia United, who unfortunately going to have to go down, I think that it's not going to be an easy task to come back right up. But here's Mbamio here. He's got some space.
He's working on that far line into the box. Shot, a great save by Ethan for UMA. He's able to hold that off, hold the line.
Well, I tell you what, that's the type of ball that Mbamio loves. He loves to go one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And I'll tell you what, that was a fantastic play to keep that ball out by the keeper for UMA. But that's what I mean. You know, I tell you what, if Georgia Athletic link up and they have a great target man in Mbamio, they are going to be dangerous as well, even though they don't have as much possession as UMA.
Mbamio holding off that challenge by Stanton allows Georgia Athletic to work the ball over on the far side. Here's a good move. Cuts around. Ooh, tried a little one-timer there. Was Delgado, but just not able to get that to his teammate. But it goes out. It'll be a throw.
Yeah, that's what you call a crowd-pleasing flick.
Looks like Ruiz will be the one that'll take it. A lot of these teams are utilizing this new long ball almost like a corner of itself. Headed away. Mbamio was the only one that was in the box with Ethan. Sent long. Now it's just a foot race. Gutierrez was there just a few steps in front of Holstrom.
I tell you what, Gutierrez is one of my favorite defenders here for Georgia Athletic. He reads the plays so well coming into his area, and he's a leader back there. But another player to watch back there is Mba, and he's a defender, but he gets forward a lot. He's a very much an attacking type of player, so he will try to get forward on occasion, especially on set pieces. Really setting things up, and you can see Georgia Athletic looking for their way out. They're not panicking. They're not trying to go long ball all the time.
And here comes, just when you say it, here comes the long ball.
Yeah, it's called the commentator's curse.
Exactly. But one of the things I was going to say, Dre, you know, it's hard to do a lot of when you're comparing players to professional players. But Imba, he kind of has a lot of that Virgil van Dijk where
Yes.
he's solid in the back line, but he's not afraid to move up top. Here comes Mbamio. He's able to control it, but he's not able to get around the defense of UMA. It's out for a throw. But he kind of has that Virgil van Dijk mentality where he will, he's solid in that back line as a center back, but he's not afraid to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good example of what I was talking about. And it makes it incredibly hard to defend against.
Deflected off of UMA. It'll be a corner for Georgia Athletic. Here as we enter 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen a hydration break just yet. We may still get one.
This will be an outswinger. Headed away by UMA. Tony's able to key. No, he's not.
Almost got enough when they couldn't get really anything behind that header to challenge the keeper for UMA.
Yeah, Ethan's really doing a fantastic job in between the posts there for UMA these first 31 minutes. There is the hydration break. Finally, just a little late, but it is there. We'll take a look at the fixtures that we have from this week. You can see that on Thursday, North Georgia United with that fantastic 5-2 win over Georgia Revolution. Yesterday, Legends FC to FC Birmingham 0-0. One of the few 0-0s this season.
I think only the second one. We had another one earlier.
Yeah, that was the only, and this is the only week where it happened. Then we had Atlanta United beating FC Atlanta 3-0. Kalanji Pro Profile winning the Kalanji Derby 3-1 over SSL. Georgia Revolution losing to Potros FC so that Potros can lift the title. Dalton United winning over North Georgia 4-1. We take a look at what is next week. We have this match right now, which is UMA and Georgia Athletic.
Hello?
Yeah, it's someone in here. Apologies, it's from someone else in the booth. And Thursday will be the last match of the season, which will be Atlanta City FC taking on SSL at 7:30 over at Duluth High School.
Yeah, I think one thing that a note was what happened with Georgia Revolution late in the season here. They've kind of their challenge for the division title kind of stalled there, and I'm not sure of the reason why, but I think they've lost 3 on the bounce now.
Yeah, and you take a look at the leaderboard as it stands right now. Potros, top of the table. They will get a bye next week as the playoffs start. Dalton United, Kalanji Pro Profile, Atlanta United Academy, they have all earned the right to be home for the first round. Give your hat to Atlanta United where they had that forfeit, lost 3 points, then buckled down and got all the way up to 4th place. And then what we have left is we have UMAFC, Georgia Athletic. They're battling for that 5-6 spot. Who's going to go where? And then Georgia Revolution in 7. So as it stands right now, Georgia Revolution will go to Dalton United. Kalanji Pro Profile will take on Georgia Athletic. Atlanta United will take on UMA. As it stands right now, depending on what happens in this match, those 2 matches could get switched.
Yeah, and one slight change to the playoff picture, Larry, is that we were going to have the home field advantage of the high seed in the first round and then go to a neutral ground. That has changed, and the high seeds will now get the option of home field throughout the entire playoffs, including the final.
Back underway here at Callaway Stadium in the 34th minute. UMA FC 0, Georgia Athletic SC 0. Here's an opportunity, though. UMA quickly trying to get there. What a save!
Oh, wow.
By Guerrero, just able to get a touch on it, and I think he also had a little bit of help from his defender.
Can we
We'll
say,
take a look at that in a moment.
yeah, Guerrero's going to be, in the first 33 minutes anyway, man of the match. He's made a couple key saves here. Oh, the sun has thankfully gone behind a cloud. That's cut the degrees about 10 degrees.
Just for the moment. Don't say it too loud.
Yeah, it's a small cloud.
Trying to work that into the box, not able to do so was UMA. Cleared it out. And Bamio receives it. Slow pass, but still got it there to the center circle. Sends it forward. Was Delgado, but not able to connect with his teammate. It's going to roll out for a UMA throw.
Very entertaining game. And you're right from earlier, Larry. This game has flown by. You know, you wouldn't think so in a 0-0 game. Plenty of chances on both sides. Both of these teams look very capable.
Yeah, it's just one little mistake by either squad, and it's in the back of the net. It's a razor-thin line.
Well, there's a reason why both teams are in the playoffs.
And once you get to the playoffs, all bets are off, because you look at last season, it was this day last season where Atlanta City had to win to knock UMA out of the playoffs. They get in the 7th seed. They immediately have to take on all the big dogs and beat everyone, make it to the playoffs, win in the finals, and then move on to the national tournament and lose to St. Louis City Academy, who end up being the 2nd team in the national tournament. So that's a fate. Here comes Kim down the far side. He takes a shot, just wide. That one was wide from the moment that he took the shot.
Yeah, but he's starting to get a little bit more and more into the game, getting behind the defenders there. Decent.
You see here, they win the ball, quickly transition, won that off of Imba, and they take the shot, and it just pulls it wide. We're back to live play. Trying to make his way through. Shot taken right into Guerrero's arms.
Well placed, Guerrero.
Both keepers have been exactly where they need to be so far in this first 36 minutes. Good ball forward, up to Cervantes. He slides it across. Oh, and it falls down on the ground, then runs into his own man. Knight tried to take the shot and just lost it. He's going to try it again, gives it back to Cervantes, and it's in the back of the net. Cervantes with the goal. Georgia Athletic was saying that he was offsides.
Hard to tell from this angle, but well worth the effort there.
We take a look at the replay. We can see, I think it was Infante that kept Cervantes on just enough so that it's a goal for UMA.
Yeah, the key is where was he? At the time the ball was played into him, I think you're right. He was played on by the player on the far side. And it's 1-0.
Just like that, what we said, just a tiny little mistake, and it's a goal, and that's exactly what just happened.
Well, it's interesting that Guerrero had done a couple of great saves before that, but it just showed the attacking pressure that UMA had been heaping on, and now it's just given away. He finally broke the deadlock here. Well-deserved goal for UMA from all the attacks that they've had. Georgia Athletic, a good defending team. But again, like we said earlier, you give enough, chances to anybody, and it's just eventually they'll get through, and that's what's happened.
And Dre, you know, we talked about it in the pregame, and we're here in the 39th minute, and we can both say it to our good friend that we have made over the last few weeks from Italy, Andrea. Ciao, Andrea. Thank you for watching from Italy.
Good to have you back in the chat, Matt. You always enjoy your banter.
Christopher Uranga, leader of Potros FC, also in the chat.
Congratulations to him and his club. Well-deserved championship season. Most consistent team in the division, Potros has been.
We might even take an opportunity to announce some of the awards that are going to be given out here at the end of the season.
Indeed, yes.
I believe it's 6 hours ahead of time in Italy that Andrea is watching. So he's getting a nightcap and watching some UPSL Georgia conference action. So always thanked to let us be his evening entertainment. I got a feel for Guerrero there on that goal because he's just done such a good job in these first 40 minutes. And that ball just found its way through. And defender, I feel like Infante was just enough back that allowed Cervantes to stay on side. We'll go back and look at it again, but it really, to me, and it's hard to see from our angle, but here's an opportunity for, what a save!
Oh, my God, I thought that was in. Oh, I almost shouted goal there.
Yeah, it's just amazing little goal save there by the defender. We'll watch it again in a moment, but already on the transition again. Knight, can he get it right this time? Off the post. He has just not been able to get a ball on the back of the net. First time he falls on the pitch. That one hits right off the top crossbar.
Oh, my God. Two gilt-head chances at either end of the field there.
Sometimes that's a striker's curse.
Yeah, pushed off the ball there. Oh, man, what a couple of chances there, both sides.
We're going to take real quick. I want to look at that opportunity just a moment ago, slide across, and just able to put a foot on it was the defender for UMA. I couldn't see exactly who it was that was the defensive man that held it off. I believe it was Whitehead, number 4, who was the one that made the save. And this will be a free kick right about half line for Georgia Athletic. Oh, he's able to get through. Shot taken. Oh, what a save. Right where he needed to be was Ethan on that one.
It just continues on and on. Chance after chance here. Goalkeepers are the stars of this game.
That was an amazing save, and here's Knight.
Oh, Imba.
Imba just able to nick that one off of him and out.
I tell you what, you know, this game may not have anything to do with who makes the playoffs, but they're both playing to win. It's good to see.
Kim trying to give it back, but there's enough of a deflection that UMA will get another throw. This will be where you're going to have that long throw come into play. Stanton will come up and take this long throw. A lot of these teams are now utilizing this long ball throw. It's almost like a corner. Didn't get all of it.
Still in the box, though.
But it was just hung in the air there for a few moments. The wind is almost nothing. The goal scorer, Cervantes. Not able to get it to a man, and that one's going to be knocked out. Will be a throw for Georgia Athletic here as we enter the 45th minute. We'll see how much stoppage time Christopher Haggerty gives as the center official. Going into the half, Coach Andrew has got to be happy with his UMA squad.
Yeah, they're hitting on all cylinders, UMA. Georgia Athletic have had their opportunities too, could easily have equalized and even gone ahead with some of the chances they've had already. And Bomio.
And that one just goes right back to Ethan. Now here goes UMA yet again. He receives it. Shot, and that one hits the outside of the bar. Kim again with an opportunity. That one, Guerrero was where he needed to be, was closing off the space. And you can see he gets this run, gets around Imba. Infante, shot taken.
It's almost like he waited too long. He could have acted a little bit quicker, but he thought about it. He had some space there, and I think that allowed a little bit of recovery, just enough to put him off a little bit. Still a good chance. I'm not criticizing the approach play. Here they come again.
Imba ran that one down and took it off of the UMA player.
Still anybody's game here.
Oh, yeah, 1 point is not enough. You know, we were having that conversation last week. You know, former Atlanta United head coach Reyes, you know, when he said the way you protect a 1-0 lead is get a 2-0 lead.
Yeah. Words of wisdom.
Infante able to stay on his feet, but he loses possession and recovered there by Ruiz.
UMA player still down.
I should say Ruiz, excuse me.
Yeah, I made that mistake last week.
Yeah, I'm you know, too many names.
As most listeners know, I'm horrible with names. Even Andrea in the chat, I butchered his name several times when he first hit the chat.
And
but he's been very kind to correct us.
Stanton's going to take this again. Let's see if he can get this one a little bit better form. That's a better ball into the box.
Ooh.
Headed away by Marquez. Mbamio.
He's all over the place, Mbamio. Down here in defense.
We're 48 minutes in.
I did not see an indication of the
I did not either. Mbamio working the near line. Gets around the man.
Oh, he wants to
tried to back heel, able to get it to him. Just not able to slide that across was Alvarado, but it's knocked out. Will be a corner. I think this is going to be the last opportunity in this first half.
Yeah, you can see Mbamio really wanted to pull the trigger there.
Because I can see just the body positioning of center official Christopher Haggerty. He looks like he's ready to call this first 45.
What a first 45 it's been.
Into the box, headed away. Alvarado loses it. Sent forward. Holstrom's able to control it. Gets it to Kim. Kim's able to get it out from underneath his feet. Shot taken. It's in the back of the net.
Wow.
That time Tony Kim gets it. And look at how fast the transition is for UMA.
A stoppage time goal. What a critical goal, too, at the time it came. But, boy, Tony Kim, you never bet against this man when he has the ball one-on-one with the defender.
And he just ripped that into the back of the net.
And that's going to be it. The last action of the first half is the halftime whistle is gone right after the goal. Talk about last second, literally.
Yeah, we said that Christopher looked like he was about ready to blow the whistle, And indeed he does, as it is 2-0 UMA FC versus Georgia Athletic SC going into this halftime. Georgia Athletics head coach going to have some talk with the boys, kind of come up with a new game plan to get back in this match, because what you don't need is to start to slide away from this match, because you still have something that you want to gain out of this match.
Yeah, for this game, that second goal is really a killer. And up until then, I'm saying, they really don't have to change too much. They're soaking up pressure pretty well. They're hitting well on the counterattack, but just not linking up enough with Mbamio and their attackers to threaten the UMA goalkeeper. So maybe that's the change, Larry, that they need to look at is try to get a little bit further up the field and get a little bit more possession.
Indeed. Well, we'll step away for a few minutes. We'll be back for the second 45. Don't go away, everybody. We will see you in a few minutes for the second half of UMAFC and Georgia Athletic SC.
Hey coach, is your game going to be live streamed? Can't find a broadcast partner? I have the solution for you. It's time to contact the Atlantic Soccer Media Group. The Atlantic Soccer Media Group will provide you with the most extensive live coverage and affordable rates to bring your club's matches to your fans. So they will never miss any of the action.
Good ball laid off to that far side. Shot ripped. It's in! Dalton United at the death of the game! They go ahead, and this stadium is sent to raptures.
And bring them along with you as you raise the trophy.
Gentlemen, say it with them. They are the champions.
So what are you waiting for? For the best and easiest coverage, national exposure, attract sponsors, interact with your fans, work with scouts from around the world? Contact the Atlantic Soccer. Hey coach, is your game going to be live streamed? Can't find a broadcast partner? I have the solution for you. It's time to contact the Atlantic Soccer Media Group. The Atlantic Soccer Media Group will provide you with the most extensive live coverage and affordable rates to bring your club's matches to your fans. so they will never miss any of the action.
Good ball laid off to that far side. Shot ripped. It's in! Dalton United at the death of the game! They go ahead, and this stadium is sent to raptures.
And bring them along with you as you raise the trophy.
Gentlemen, say it with them. They are the champions.
So what are you waiting for the best and easiest coverage, national exposure, attract sponsors, interact with your fans, work with scouts from around the world? Contact the Atlantic Soccer.
And welcome back to beautiful Callaway Stadium here on the campus of LaGrange College for this UPSL Georgia Conference Premier Division action. Week 13, it's all said and done, folks. After this match and a Thursday match makeup between Atlanta City FC and SSL FC. We currently sit 45 minutes in, UMA FC 2, Georgia Athletic 0. Two fantastic goals for UMA. First one by number 11, Cervantes, and then right before the end of the half, Tony Kim with another goal to add to his tally. He has just been a powerhouse for this UMA squad, and you can see why so much. We look, like we said, from all along in those first 45 minutes, you look at the table, top 7 teams, they move on to the playoffs. First place team, Potros FC, they get a bye for the first week. Dalton United, currently, they would be welcoming Georgia Revolution. Kalanji Pro Profile will be welcoming Georgia Athletic FC if it stays like it is, and Atlanta United Academy will welcome UMA FC. On the outside looking in, due to that 0-0 draw last night, FC Birmingham just loses out in the playoffs. Legends FC, great season, got to 9th place. SSL on the outside looking in for the first time in a while for them, 10th place. Atlanta City FC, they're in 11th. Technically, they're at the same points as FC Atlanta, but SSL would need to beat them by greater than 6 points for them to fall into the 12th spot, which is the beginning of the relegation. Relegation is 12th and 13th, so that would be FC Atlanta and North Georgia United. Gives us an opportunity to bring in Andre Bomar. And Andre, let's talk about the playoffs. Because when we talk about the playoffs, we talk about the fact that the first week is going to be a home field advantage for Dalton, Kalanji Pro Profile, and Atlanta United Academy. And those are going to be some great games. We'll see if those games are going to be played on Saturday or Sunday. We'll get that notification as this week progresses. But then let's talk about week 2 of the playoffs, where you have the opportunity that those teams, originally it was planned that week 2 on would be played at a neutral ground, but there could be the potential of those games being played at home fields.
Yeah, I think that's it. A good description. What it is they're going to give the option for the home team to have the advantage of home field in the semifinal round and the final. And originally we were going to go to Silverbacks Park, but they are fairly booked, so it was hard to keep that as a firm place to go. We weren't sure about the times available, so they gave the option to the teams that are the high seed to host. And they're of course you want home field advantage. That's sort of a reward for being a high seed.
We start the second half of this match. Georgia Athletic has got us underway. They're in their all-white kits. They're moving from left to right. UMAFC in their secondary white and red stripes with red shorts. They're moving from right to left in their alternates.
Still very hot out there on the pitch.
Indeed. Unfortunately, Dre gets to spend his afternoon out in the sun, where I get to sit in a semi-cooled environment.
Yeah, I'm out here working on my tan.
Foul committed there. You can see it is currently 92 degrees with a 7-mile-an-hour wind. Just enough wind to make you realize how hot it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might argue with that temperature. I think it might be higher than that.
Here's an opportunity, but just sent off into the grassy knoll that is Callaway Stadium.
Yeah, this league, this tier of soccer in this country, I mean, there's a lot of variables that go on here. Wait for this attack to come through.
Held off for a moment. Loses his footing. Still able to control it. And that one's going to get knocked out. Should be a
It's going back the
foul.
other way.
I believe it's going to be a foul. But you were saying about American football.
Yeah, it's like we have so many different leagues that are either at the same level or one or two tier above or below each other. With Portoros, we mentioned about them being in the ADSL, for instance. Hold on.
Another chance. Tony Kim given off to Hallstrom. He lays it off back to Park.
Ooh.
Young takes a shot. Saved there by Guerrero. Good work there.
Needed saving, too. But, you know, we take, at one example, take a team like Portoros who played in the 8SL. 8SL is a rec division or rec league, but Portoros performed and organized themselves as a professional team. And that's one of the reasons they did so well there and why they're here now. You know, and they've just grown on leaps and bounds from that time. And who knows where they can go from here.
Yeah, we see so often in other countries like the UK where you have a team that starts from the ground, you know, and from the grassroots, and then they, over time, they build themselves into a, you know, mainstay in the public. I mean, you know, a lot of American eyes are on Wrexham AFC through that documentary with Ryan Reynolds and Mr. McElhenney. But that's a club that's been around since the late 1800s, and at one point was ran into the ground, spent decades down in, well, about 15 years in non-league before where they're at today.
It was the same for Salford, you know, near Manchester there, taken over by some former Manchester United players, namely Gary Neville and his brother, Nicky Butt. And the same thing, they were non-league for many, many years, and they started to run. Okay, it's going to be
foul
back the
committed
other way.
there.
Yeah. So it's down to the club. It's down to, you know, people like Christopher Aranga who can take a club who's not in a pro development league, put them in there, and then win it. You know, it's just, it's up to the team, the players, the fan support.
Yes.
To really make that team grow.
And one of the things that we were talking about at halftime is about how diverse the Georgia Conference is, with organizations that are focused on other areas. Here's an opportunity, and he just gets that one all wrong again. You look at the UMA squad here; they're a South Korean staple team. You look at a group like Kalanji Pro Profile that have a lot of African players in there. Same with somebody like
Club the Strongest.
Club the Strongest. They're Bolivian-based.
Yeah, I mean they embrace.
Yeah,
you know,
Atlanta Rovers with a strong Moroccan presence.
That's what's great about the UPSL overall. You see that all over the nation with clubs.
Here's a long ball for Georgia Athletic. Ethan
nicely.
just knocks that one away to center circle. Finally controlled by UMA. Kim not able to control that one. But yeah, that's one of the things that is so enjoyable, and when you'll see in the coming seasons just leaning more into that just culture of these teams here in the UPSL Georgia Conference.
Yeah, I mean, I love the story. I love a story like Portoros, you know, where they came from, you know, not highly heralded, you know, like the Atlanta Uniteds of the world and everything, but now they've done something that equals look at that move from them.
Nice little back flick that,
Couldn't get by
that
him,
Mbamio tried to do something with. It's going to get knocked out for a throw.
Yeah,
you know,
but the glamour team at Atlanta United have not done any more than what Portoros has done.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at a team like FC Matata, Coach Hippo,
Yeah.
who, you know, they strong African presence in that squad, and you know, they're basically grassroots and then some. The majority of the expenses for that club coming out of Coach Hippo's pocket. You know, not a lot of sponsorship, but they did fantastic work here in the UPSL. And Mbamio trying to do something. Right now, Coach Hippo trying to rebuild his squad to get back into the UPSL.
Yeah, I miss Elephants, and I think that it is the organization that fell short there for them, but not talent by any means.
And then here's an opportunity. Tried to slide it through. Guerrero grabbed that one. That was a good work there. Holstrom found a little seam. Tried to sneak that one past Guerrero, not able to do so.
Guerrero's been tall in that box in front of goal today.
I don't think there was anything that – here's Mbamio trying to do something. I don't think there was anything that Guerrero could do on that Tony Kim goal right before halftime as that came in like a rocket.
I mean, he did everything he did. He made a couple of fantastic saves before that. But like I say, you know, we've said it several times now. You give enough chances to a talented team, they're going to get through no matter how good your goalkeeper is.
Yeah. You know, that bend, don't break mentality only works as long as you can bend. Here's an opportunity. Kim dancing through. Just can't get around Infante.
That's just the type of approach he loves to do, Tony Kim.
DJ Shin. Jung. Shot taken. And a foul going to be committed there as that shot was taken. We'll see if we can watch the replay to see who was the one that committed the foul as he makes a turn. And, yeah, just kind of clipped from behind by Hernandez, number 10. This is going to give an opportunity yet again for UMA.
Yeah, I think Haggerty waited just long enough to see if there was going to be anything from that shot. That would have been a fantastic advantage if the goal had gone in.
Shin and Kim over the ball.
My money's on Tony Kim.
It's going to be Shin that's going to take it, and it's going to bounce into the arms of Guerrero.
At least I'm consistent. I'm wrong again.
Hey, you know what? If you're going to be consistent, go for it, you know? Whether you're right or wrong, just be consistent.
Yeah, just don't go to Vegas.
Yeah. Goal kick for UMA as we're here in the 56th minute. And just having a conversation, you know, just listening or looking at some of the chat. So for those that are new to the UPSL, the way that this structure works is after this regular season weekend, we will go to the playoffs. So first round, top seed gets a bye. 2, 3, and 4 will welcome 5, 6, and 7. Winners of those will get included with first round Potros. They'll come into the mix in week 2. There'll be those 2 matches. Top teams take on the lower teams, of course. And then the finals. Whoever wins the playoff finals, they will represent UPSL Georgia Conference. Here's an opportunity for UMA. Shot taken. Just got his paw on it as Guerrero saves another one.
Freaking amazing. That guy.
Holstrom just trying everything he can.
I mean, it's a shame he's been breached once because he's been fantastic in goal.
Well, twice with Cervantes.
Oh, that's right. I
and
forgot
Kim.
about the one right before the half. Can't say that either one.
Got to take a look at that save again.
Ugh.
Holstrom coming through. He takes a shot, and he just gets down, gets that paw on it, sees it out to be handled by Infante. So once the playoffs end, the winner of the UPSL Georgia Conference, they will get to represent UPSL Georgia in the national tournament. 32 teams in the national tournament.
Yeah,
here's an opportunity, knocked away.
The finals this year, the Final Four and final are going to be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Winner gets not only a trophy, but a nice chunk of cash.
Yeah, and they give cash out at each one of the regional finals in the national playoffs as well.
The Elite 8, the Southeast regionals, ASMG will get the ability to cover that match.
Yeah, that game's going to be at Silverbacks Park on the July 27th. 4 p.m. Oh, nice interception.
Shot taken. That one's going to hit the American football bar, and it'll be a goal kick. There's a little bit of a change in the structure for the national tournament because of the fact of the newly entered Gateway Conference. But the first round, generally, the first round of 32, the Georgia team would take on Kentucky, Tennessee. This time, they will take on the Mid-Atlantic team in the round of 32. If I'm not correct, you can correct me, Dre, but that is what I have off of the information I have.
Yeah, they mixed it up a little bit. You got it right. And that's when you really see the elite of every single conference. So you're talking the best of the best.
Yeah, the last time UPSL Georgia made it to the Final Four was Kalanji Pro Profile a couple years back in 2022, in the spring of 2022, when they went to Arizona and ended in third place.
Yeah, they won the third place game.
And you know, we had conversations with Coach Bruno about that experience, and you know, a lot of those guys that were on that squad are still with Kalanji Pro Profile.
That's pretty amazing. Of course, we did have Athletico Atlanta, who won the national championship.
Yeah, just a few, you know, back in the fall of 2020 when we were dealing with the pandemic here in the United States. The one location that was still open for business was UPSL Georgia.
Yeah, I think there were a couple of conferences that did play through the pandemic. Georgia was one of them with the pandemic protocols in place.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have a conversation with Coach Joao Garcia next weekend to talk about this little rumor about Atletico Atlanta and if he is going to be a part of bringing that club back to the UPSL Georgia Conference, as they were a powerhouse there for those few seasons that they were here before he moved on to the Boston area.
Yeah, Coach Garcia seems to win wherever he goes. He won a couple of trophies up there in Boston. Oh,
trying to do something there. That one just slotted over the bar.
Just about 30 minutes. I think Georgia Athletic, if they're going to get back in this game, are going to have to look at trying to get a score pretty soon to give themselves a chance. I mean, to be honest, not a lot at stake when it comes to the playoffs. It's just a matter of placement, and their opponent will be determined by today's game.
Yeah, the only thing that we have left is just knowing who is going to be taking on Kalanji and who is going to be taking on Atlanta United. And I'm not quite sure which team the squads really want, you know?
Well, you know, what I tell people all the time, whether they're playing in the division playoffs or the national playoffs, you're going to have to play the best at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
Trophy. So
if you want to say that you're the best, you got to take them on.
Yeah, so whether it's Atlanta United or Kalanji, both who have won division championships here, you know, it doesn't really matter. It just, you know, you play who's in front of you, and you play to win.
So our season, our playoff season, you know, this will be the end of the line for teams like Legends FC and Atlanta City and FC Birmingham, those teams that are in the midway point. This will be the end of their spring season. Now, summer, you know, they have a little bit of time off, and here's a substitution for UMA. But then we have a fall season that will kick off.
Regional Cup in the summer.
And we'll have a Regional Cup in the summer, which is kind of like it's a little bit of our version of the of preseason is the Regional Cup. And
yeah,
then
you could class it as a preseason tournament. It involves teams from both Premier and Division I.
and then the fall season will start in August.
There is a $5,000 prize for that regional cup this season.
I'm in. I'm in, Coach. Put me in.
Well, you can think about it. That will pay for a lot of fees.
Indeed. That will pay for a large portion of the fees for a lot of these teams. Here's an opportunity. UMA slided across. Just didn't get that one right, but it is a corner. Saved there by Infante. Holstrom was right there. We'll try to take a look at it. It was Garcia who came on for UMA. This will be an outswinger. Headed down, but it's just going to roll out. Will be a goal kick. Another substitution ready to go for UMA. He's going to, center official said, yes, we'll go ahead and do it on this next one. And indeed, that's where it is.
It's a really good chance for Coach Andrew to get some playing time for some of these players right before the
Number 21
playoffs.
will be coming on. He's going to replace the goalkeeper. He's going to replace the original goal scorer, Cervantes.
And remember, these teams don't really get a break. They go right into the playoffs next weekend.
Yeah, those teams that are, that didn't make the playoffs and that, didn't get relegated, they're going to have some time, a couple extra weeks to kind of have a break, think about what positions they need to add up some additional firepower and get to recruiting. That ball is just going to roll through just enough, though.
Oh, yeah.
And
Took a deflection
Guerrero
way
had
through.
to get a touch on it, and it rolls out. It will be a corner for UMA.
Yeah, I think he was set for it, and he took a deflection on the way to him, and his momentum was carrying him in a different direction. So he managed to get a body part on it and save it from going in, but it is going to be a corner for them.
It'll be another outswinger for UMA here in the 66th minute. Gets there, just headed away by Imba. Knight takes a shot. That one's over the bar, out for a goal kick.
Chance after chance after chance. Like I said earlier in the first half, Georgia Athletic solid defensively. They've given up 2 goals in this game, but they're under a lot of pressure. But what I think they have been missing is the ability to hit on the counterattack and have sustained possession in midfield to give them an opportunity to get things, play up and link up to like Mbamio or whoever's up front in attack.
And we got a throw for UMA. Stanton will come up and take this one yet again. Look for this long throw. Got plenty of width here at Callaway Stadium to allow that long run up. You have some fields that don't have the space that we have here at Callaway. Nice throw into the box. Gets all the way through.
Oh.
Kim has it. Goes down. That's going to be a penalty for Georgia Athletic.
Yeah,
They
I'm not
are
sure.
just incensed by the call.
I don't know why they're arguing that, to be honest. I mean, when you challenge somebody in the penalty area, you risk putting them down. We'll take a look at it.
You see, as the ball comes in to the box, it bounces all the way through. Kim receives it and just gets kind of taken off his feet. What are you going to do? Christopher Haggard, he gets, he doesn't really have a choice there.
Yeah, and the referee's going to be looking at that from his angle. It looks like a penalty. He's going to have to call it. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the way
Kim
it
will
goes.
take this one. The captain for UMA.
No VAR at this level.
And he slots that easily through. It'll be a goal for UMA.
Hey Larry, I bet you Kim scores. I want to be right for once.
Yes, you got it.
There you go. I got one.
And you can see he just easily steps up, slots this in the right corner, calm as you would like it.
Yeah, another exciting thing, Larry, about this level is you see the future stars like a Tony Kim, get their start here. He's obviously going to go on to higher and better things.
And Tony, he has that, and it's not just because of the, being South Korean, but, Tottenham's son, he has that same style of play and that same, and it comes from, we had a long talk with Coach Andrew before the match, just how it is in the Korean culture about, just doing things the right way,
Well, he talked about the expectations, that come with being in that culture when it comes to playing football, and, that they have a high degree of expectation for success. And that drives these players on. And that's why you see them go on to college careers and up to the professional ranks here and abroad.
And Tony's just, he is the consummate professional. Ever since, and here's a chance and that one somehow finds its way between the two different posts.
It's pulled up lame there after
I think his boot kind of flew off that time.
Yeah, he's limping though. I think his follow through, hit the foot of the defender. I didn't see who the defender was, but just enough to get. Oh, it's going to be a corner kick.
Another corner.
He did keep it out, but yeah, it's just enough to challenge there.
And we have another question that's going to come through the chat here in just a moment.
Still going to be 2 there on the main scoreboard there. Should be.
An in-swinger comes all the way through. And here comes an opportunity for Georgia Athletic.
See what they can do.
Trying to do something from center circle, trying to switch play. Mbamio is able to keep it in, but he's not able to control it and allows Stanton to knock that away. 4th throw. Dre, one of the questions that is coming in from the chat was, how does the playoffs for Division I work with 2 different divisions, both North and South?
Definitely, I can get into that. Let's see what happens on this play there.
And here's it just kind of goes off. It'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, we have a North and South in Division I. There's going to be a division winner on each one. The top finishers in the North and the South will play a single game to determine the Division I champion. So that's the regular season champion. And then, that winner is going to earn automatic promotion to the Premier Division. And so the only thing they need to do is be able to meet the Premier Division standards as a team, the stadium and whatnot. But 2 teams are coming up from Division I. The second team is going to be determined by the promotion playoff, and that's going to be the top 7 teams that are going to play in that promotion playoff. Whereas the loser of the one-off game for the division title will re-enter through the promotion playoffs. And they still have an opportunity to be promoted if they win the promotion playoff. So the promotion playoff is only teams that can qualify to be promoted. So you won't see like North Georgia 2 or anybody like that.
Yeah, any team that's already in the Premier Division will not be allowed to have a second team in the Premier Division.
Exactly.
So if you have a second team down in Division I, they are not eligible for the playoffs or for promotion.
Exactly. So that's.
But that gives an opportunity for teams like Fountain City, Atlanta Fire, Georgia Impact, those teams to have an opportunity to get into the playoffs and earn a spot as a promotion team, as we have another substitute ready to come on for UMA. It's going to be end of the day for Knight.
Oh, I like what you did there. It's end of the day for Knight. Could do a lot with that statement. But yeah, it's very much a meritocracy here in the UPSL. You earn your way up or down, depending on your play on the pitch. So throughout the season, you can't float at all if you have ambitions at all to either stay in the division you're in or to be promoted.
Newly entered Fletcher Clifford gives it back to Shin.
And some divisions, some conferences, I should say, are going to have a Division II. Georgia is not, but it's almost classed as another entry-level type division.
Yeah, almost an amateur level.
Yes.
And it was kind of a conception back when we didn't have the Premier League. We had Division I and Division II. And then when the Premier League kicked off in 2020, 2021, it was when the twos kind of disappeared for a while.
Yeah, because basically what happened was Division I didn't change the tier. They just put a division above them called Premier.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was an evaluation done. The teams were populated. And so what they're doing is basically returning to bringing a Division II back, which they used to have.
Yeah, and like what, you know, another question that Andrea had in the chat, there's almost 500 different teams, clubs in the UPSL nationwide system.
Exactly. That includes Division I and Premier.
Yeah, Division I, Premier, Academies,
Yep.
Women's. And this is our hydration break for the second half of this match. Currently 3-0 UMAFC over Georgia Athletic SC. We've talked about it all day. This is more just to know who is going to be in the leaderboard as it stands right now. Dalton United will take on Georgia Georgia Revolution, excuse me. Kalaji Pro Profile will take on Georgia Athletic, and Atlanta United Academy will take on UMAFC. FC Atlanta and North Georgia United are in the relegation zone, even though FC Atlanta and Atlanta City FC both are on 9 points. Because the next point is goal differential, SSL FC would have to beat Atlanta City by more than 6 points for Atlanta City to be dropped down into that 12th spot.
We really haven't spoken about Atlanta City and the utter collapse that they've had since they won the playoffs last season and went on to the national playoffs. There are factors behind that. Early on, they pretty much lost their entire, attacking threat. You know, with Thierry Jules, Jimmy Lee Noel, and Camus Jaden all gone. 2 of them from long-term suspensions. Which I won't get into right now, but
yeah, we'll leave that for another day.
Yeah, but then Jaden Camus was violating team rules. He's gone, and so Coach Giles trying to put in some disciplinary standards there at Atlanta City.
And that's something that's hard for a guy like Camus Jaden, because he has been with many different clubs. FC Atlanta, with FC Matata, with Kalanji Pro Profile, now with Atlanta City. You don't want to give yourself a bad name because, soccer is a small community, and these teams and these coaches, they have conversations with each other, and you don't want the actions at one club to hinder your possibility of something, of an opportunity at another.
Yeah, and the one thing I wanted to say about Atlanta City, I mean, they have suffered, and they're challenged because they really are a very talented team, but the youngest team in the Premier Division right now. But, I think that has been the issue, losing such a potent threat. And then there were several games where they had players as young as 13 playing against, you know, the likes of Atlanta United, Kalonji Pro Profile, and so forth.
Now
And
you've
there's
got
only
teams with 30-year-olds and older.
So if you look at it that way, and to see that they actually survived, they didn't end up in the relegation zone, that by itself is quite an accomplishment. You have to look at it in a different way.
Stanton's going to give us another throw in. Long ball into the box, headed away. Ruiz with the header, and then a foul committed.
I tell you what, this has probably been, I got to say, Larry, I've been with the UPSL in one capacity or another since 2018, and I got to say this has been the best season I've experienced personally.
And it's been, you know, it's been 3 years that ASMG has been covering the UPSL Georgia Conference, and this has got to be the closest, you know, top to bottom.
Frankly, you know, when I look at who's in the playoffs, I give anybody that of those 7 teams that makes it through to the Nationals to have a chance to go deep in
Indeed.
the playoffs. I think they're that good.
You know,
in the Georgia Conference.
You know, we've seen that some of the other conferences like Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mid-Atlantic, you know, start to thin out with competition.
Yeah, or they have a big fish in a small pond. I mean, we look at Tennessee Tiempo. I mean, they're just dominating.
Yeah. Well, and then last season you had St. Louis Academy. They came in and dominated. Now they're in their own division. I would assume that you're probably going to see them in the Gateway Conference.
Yeah,
good dancing there.
Easy keep it? Nope.
Not able to keep it in. It'll be a goal kick for Georgia Athletic here as we enter, just getting ready to enter the 81st minute, down by 3. And I think it's one of those that Georgia Athletic are just going to see these last 20 minutes out and accept their fate of this loss, get ready for the playoffs, try not to get anyone with a red card or injury or anything like that so that they can be geared up, ready to go for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Now you got to be careful. Kalonji had an issue getting a card and a red card to a key player that's now going to miss the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and just, you know, and it was, yes, it is a decision making by the center ref, but it's a decision that he made. He saw, you know, he called that second yellow card for diving. You know, I'm up in the booth. You know, it's hard for me to see it. I don't see the SSL player lean in. Here comes an outswinger. Headed away, and that one's going to be a throw for UMA, but I didn't see the SSL player lunge in for the challenge on Tiente, and he was called for diving, received the second yellow, and he will miss next week's match.
That's the danger. I think that, you know, as a player, when you have you know, maybe like a referee like Daniel Benson who's going to call it close, right? He's going to call it by the letter of the law. You already have a yellow card. The thing you don't want to do is antagonize the situation by taking a chance like that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of players, before I say that, we look at this challenge here in the box. It's going to be a foul.
And that's going to be a foul.
Yeah, I think a lot of players, you know, when they're in that situation and you're about to, I mean, and it's coached, it's taught. When you see a challenge coming in on you and you're in the box, you know, you are taught to go down.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that in this case he was anticipating contact that did not occur. And he ended up going down, and of course he was right in front of the referee.
Yeah.
And, you know, referee has a judgment call to make here, and he made it. And you can disagree with it, you can argue it, but, you know, the referee has a right to call it.
Yeah. You know, we're talking about it. Let's, you know, we talk just to give a brief little forecast. Here's Tony Kim receiving the ball. Got 2 men on him. Imba takes him down. Will be a free kick for UMA. We talk about the Mid-Atlantic. South Carolina United Heat, once again at the top of the table. They're 10-2-0. You know, they've been at the top of Mid-Atlantic, you know, for many seasons. Soda City FC just behind them. We've seen them, covered matches for them. Charlotte Football Club right behind them. 32 points were both South Carolina United Heat and Soda City. Charlotte FC 30 points, and then it drops down. James Island Soccer Club with 22 points. So, you know, those teams are very, very – they ran away against some of those teams in the Mid-Atlantic, and that's what you usually have. You have 1, 2, or 3 teams that really run away, whereas the Georgia Conference has been a very, very tight race.
Well, that's what I mean. You know, at the bottom club, North Georgia United beat this UMA team a couple of weeks ago, you know, and it didn't like a surprise at all.
Rolled it. Shot taken.
Oh, wow.
Saved by Guerrero.
That man, Guerrero, again. Can't believe
He's
he just
trying
reached
everything
3
he can
times.
do. He's just not able to do it.
It's down to the fact that, you know, UMA just has that many chances. I mean, he's doing a stellar job, but, you know, you can't stop everything.
Yeah, you talk about, you know, you were talking about Kentucky, Tennessee. Tennessee tempo at the top. 10 games, 8-2-0.
They're at the top every season.
Yep. That one just didn't get that one right either. You know, Southern Indiana, 18 points in second place. They were 5-3-1. It just shows you Tennessee tempo is just at the top of that Kentucky, Tennessee region. St. Louis City, top of that one. In Gateway, 25 points, 8-1-0. Springfield FC, second place, 21 points, 7-0-2.
Well, this is the point I'm making. I think that when you see a team like North Georgia, bottom of our league, they're in 13th place in a division with 13 teams.
Yeah.
They beat Georgia Revolution, a playoff team, and they beat UMA, a playoff team,
Yep.
in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And so, you know, from top to bottom, anybody can beat anybody.
Yes.
You know, that's the difference between the Georgia Conference and the other conferences, I think. I think the other conferences that are comparable, conferences like Florida, you know, who are down here. Southeast is just very, very strong in the sport, I think. You know, then you have to go out to California to see those things. And the MLS academies are learning that too.
Yes, and that's one of the points that we.
Oh.
Mbamio just didn't get that one right. He
Inventive
tried
try
to
there.
turn on it, but it's one of the things that we've talked about many a time, where so far in the time that MLS academies have been in the UPSL structure,
Haven't won
they have not won a national title.
Nope. Atlanta United have one trophy in the time that they've been here, but they haven't progressed to the Nationals yet.
Yeah, and a team that has just put trophy after trophy after trophy in their set is Dalton United. They have won just about
Phenomenal team.
everything.
That's a phenomenal team. Every year when I start to try to write them off, they just come on gangbusters.
Definitely Potros caught me off guard, because I said, if you want to beat Dalton, you know, if you want to prove me wrong, you got to beat Dalton, and they did it.
Well, I think that, you know, look at how the season started for Dalton. They lost to Atlanta United heavily.
Yeah.
And, you know, they came within one game of winning the division. And again, you know, you look at somebody like Atlanta United, they had a forfeit, you know, through missing a game. That's 3 points taken away from them. If they don't lose those 3 points, they would have been challenging for the division.
You know, you were talking about how tight it is. FC Atlanta, the 12th team, they tied this UMA team 2-2.
Yeah. Oh.
Another one that Guerrero saves.
And Bob's going to have to come in and rescue him a little bit here.
You know, and North Georgia United drew with UMA as well.
Mbah's incredible back there. You know,
he's got such a presence.
Yeah.
Such a stature.
Strong on the ball, holds up well.
Fletcher Clifford not able to keep that in, out for a throw.
You saw how well he took the ball off of Kim, and that's no easy task.
And, you know, this UMA team did beat Potros 2-0 earlier in the season.
Yeah, the division champions. So, like I said, from top to bottom, you know, nobody can take a rest each week.
No.
It'll cost you.
If you think, okay, this will be an easy game, you're going to lose. No game is easy here in the Georgia Conference. I think our conference, I can be biased, I think our conference has some of the best competition in the UPSL.
Ooh, hot right there for Guerrero.
He had to get that one right, as Zimba sent that one with a little bit of gusto.
Yeah, he misses that. It's in the back of the net.
And Fonte sending it forward. Long ball, trying something different.
Cannot believe
And
it's in
Bamio trying to get around, not going to be able to do it.
Can you believe it's in the 90th minute already?
Yeah,
Seems like the second half just started.
Yeah, it's just rolling around here.
So, cameraman bumped the camera there.
Have a talk with that guy after the
Yeah,
match.
I'll give him a tongue lashing. Ooh, filters through. Whew.
Grabbed by Ethan. Hasn't had a lot to do these last few minutes of the match.
I mean, it would be kind of justice if Georgia Athletic could get a consolation goal after all the effort they put in. But UMA, it's a good way to start the playoffs, a little bit of momentum.
They've got another substitution geared up, ready to go for the remainder of this match. Just to see it out. Give some of these guys a little bit of playing time.
And for the audience out there, keep a look at our social media. We're going to see what playoff games the ASMG is going to be broadcasting. Hopefully all of them.
Shall we give them a little bit of a prelude of some of the awards for the spring season, Dre?
Definitely, if you want to do the two that
Yeah.
we know are definite. I think the Golden Boot we still have to tally, but yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so want to give a shout out. This is the first that you'll hear. Coach of the Year will go to Potros FC's Ignacio Macis for just an absolutely fantastic season. You cannot say that Potros FC coach did not earn Coach of the Year. So shout out to Potros FC coach. You are the coach of the season for the spring season here 2024.
Yeah, you can't really pick anybody else when you consider what Potros has accomplished this season in winning the division. Not just because they won the division, because of the consistency they've had all season and the way that they play, whether they win or lose. It's just been a phenomenal performance for them this season.
Guerrero's going to get it back in to the field. Foul committed. Oh, is he going to call a penalty?
Sorry, I wasn't looking at him.
Oh, no, he's calling it just outside.
Yeah, it looked like it was a direct.
Yeah, when I saw him pointing to the spot.
Yeah, he was gesturing a direct free kick here.
Let's see if I can catch exactly when it happened as you see this ball come in from Guerrero. And, yeah, just two players that kind of closed the space on the Georgia Athletic man. And after this, I'm going to let Dre make the announcement for Manager of the Year for the spring season.
Yes. We'll do the free kick first.
We got a 5-man wall, shot right through, right into the grasp of Ethan.
That took some guts there because I'm sure. Okay, he's going to get a card.
That's a silly yellow card there. I mean, we really haven't seen any yellow cards for this match.
Yeah, you know, as a coach, you got to look at it and say, why?
Why? Yeah, exactly. Why?
Why?
And luckily here in the UPSL, there's not a yellow card
Yeah, you don't get the
accumulation like you would in the in the professional ranks. That being said, Spring Manager of the Year 2024 goes to
going to be Coach Andrew Joe Hubong of this UMA team here.
Yes.
And we can see what happens with this thing.
Cleared away by Guerrero. Yes, Coach Andrew here of UMA, just absolutely perfect for the managerial responsibilities. He wins Manager of the Year.
Yeah, he's really stepped it up. I mean, the thing that I like about what he's done with the organization, and that manager is more of an administrative type of award that we give from ASMG. And the fact that he's really just developed his academy, the way that he, treats the fans and the game day experience for the fans, and of course the way he builds and creates the pathway for his team, for his particular players to get to the professional ranks. I mean, there's nobody that comes close to that, on all levels, and you have to give it to him, not just for, doing admin roles, but for the total organization of his team. And there we go.
That is the second 45 here at Callaway Stadium. It ends UMAFC 3, Georgia Athletic 0. Ethan gets a shutout for his work in goal today. As it stands right now, and once we get the final totals, it was FC Birmingham's Giancarlo Bustamante who was in the lead for the Golden Boot. Got to do the last little bit of checking and tallies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have to wait for the league to certify the goal scorers, because we're not at all the games, so sometimes there are mistakes where the goals are awarded to the wrong players. So it looks like it's going to be him, but we have to wait for the official word.
And that is going to do it here today. One match left. Thursday night, 7:30, Atlanta City FC, SSL FC. That will then do it for the remainder of this spring season. It's been fantastic. Next week starts the playoffs. Like we said, get ready. Potros FC, they get a first-round bye. Dalton United will welcome Georgia Revolution. Kalanji Pro Profile will welcome Georgia Athletic, and Atlanta United Academy will welcome UMAFC. That's going to do it here at Callaway Stadium. For Andre Bomar, I've been Larry Weaver. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what we do and you want to see more content. We'll see you next time on the pitch. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you next time.
This has been a presentation of the UPSL. Any use of this broadcast without the written consent of the Atlantic Soccer Media Group is prohibited.